Modern flat Earth societies consist of who promote the idea that the Earth is flat rather than an oblate spheroid. Such groups date from the middle of the 20th century. Some adherents are serious and some are not. Those who are serious are often motivated by pseudoscience or religious literalism. In the modern era, through the use of social media, flat Earth theories have been increasingly espoused by individuals unaffiliated with larger groups, many of which have members around the world. Historical context. Modern flat Earth hypotheses originated with the English writer Samuel Rowbotham, 1816–1884. Based on conclusions derived from the Bedford Level experiment, Rowbotham published a pamphlet Zetetic Astronomy. He later expanded into a book Earth Not a Globe, proposing the Earth is a flat disk centered at the North Pole and bounded along its southern edge by a wall of ice, Antarctica. Rowbotham further held that the Sun and Moon were 3,000 miles, 4,800 kilometers, above Earth and that the cosmos was 3,100 miles, 5,000 kilometers, above the Earth. He also published a leaflet titled The Inconsistency of Modern Astronomy and its Opposition to the Scriptures, which argued that the Bible, alongside our senses, supported the idea that the Earth was flat and immovable, and this essential truth should not be set aside for a system based solely on human conjecture. Rowbotham and followers like William Carpenter gained attention by successful use of pseudoscience in public debates with leading scientists such as Alfred Russel Wallace. Rowbotham created a Zetetic Society in England and New York, shipping over 1,000 copies of Zetetic Astronomy. After Rowbotham's death, Lady Elizabeth Blount established a Universal Zetetic Society, whose objective was the propagation of knowledge related to natural cosmogony in confirmation of the Holy Scriptures, based on practical scientific investigation. The Society published a magazine, The Earth Not a Globe Review, and remained active well into the early 20th century. A flat Earth journal, Earth, a monthly magazine of sense and science, was published between 1901–1904, edited by Lady Blount. International Flat Earth Society. In 1956, Samuel Shenton created the International Flat Earth Society as a successor to the Universal Zetetic Society, running it as organizing secretary from his home in Dover, England. Given Shenton's interest in alternative science and technology, the emphasis on religious arguments was less than in the predecessor society. When satellite images showed Earth as a sphere, Shenton remarked, "It's easy to see how a photograph like that could fool the untrained eye." In 1969, Shenton persuaded Ellis Hillman, a Polytechnic of East London lecturer, to become president of the Flat Earth Society, but there is little evidence of any activity on his part until after Shenton's death, when he added most of Shenton's library to the archives of the science fiction foundation he helped to establish. Shenton died in 1971. Charles K. Johnson inherited part of Shenton's library from Shenton's wife, and established and became president of the International Flat Earth Research Society of America and Covenant People's Church in California. Over the next 3 decades, under his leadership, the Flat Earth Society grew to a reported 3,500 members. Johnson issued many publications and handled all membership applications. The most famous publication was Flat Earth News, a quarterly, 4-page tabloid. Johnson paid for these publications through annual member dues costing $6 to $10 over the course of his leadership. Johnson's beliefs were based on the Bible, and he saw scientists as pulling a hoax which would replace religion with science. The Flat Earth Society's most recent planet model is that humanity lives on a disk, with the North Pole at its center and a 150-foot, 45 m, high wall of ice, Antarctica, at the outer edge. The resulting map resembles the symbol of the United Nations, which Johnson used as evidence for his position. In this model, the Sun and Moon are each 32 miles, 52 kilometers, in diameter. Flat Earth Society recruited members by speaking against the U.S. government and all its agencies, particularly NASA. Much of the Society's literature in its early days focused on interpreting the Bible to mean that the Earth is flat, although they did try to offer scientific explanations and evidence. Criticism and decline. Flat Earth societies have long been criticized, due to scientific observations that have disproved and discredited the belief. This includes photographs showing the Earth as a sphere. Eugenie Scott called the group an example of extreme biblical literalist theology. The Earth is flat because the Bible says it is flat, regardless of what science tells us. According to Charles K. Johnson, the membership of the group rose to 3,500 under his leadership, but began to decline after a fire at the house of Charles K. Johnson which destroyed all of the records and contacts of members of the society, in 1997. Johnson's wife, who helped manage the membership database, died shortly thereafter. Johnson himself died on March 19, 2001. Relaunch. In 2004, Daniel Shenton, not related to Samuel, resurrected the Flat Earth Society, basing it around a web-based discussion forum. This eventually led to the official relaunch of the Society in October 2009, and the creation of a new website, featuring a public collection of Flat Earth literature and a wiki. Moreover, the Society began accepting new members for the first time since 2001, with musician Thomas Dolby becoming the first member to join the newly reconvened Society. As of July 2014, over 500 people from all around the world have become members. In 2013, part of this society broke away to form a new web-based group also featuring a forum and wiki. Canadian Society. Flat Earth Society of Canada was established on November 8, 1970, by philosopher Leo Ferrari, writer Raymond Fraser and poet Alden Nowlan, and was active until 1984. Their archives are held at the University of New Brunswick. Calling themselves planoterrestrialists, their aims were quite different from other Flat Earth societies. They claimed a prevailing problem of the new technological age was the willingness of people to accept theories on blind faith and to reject the evidence of their own senses. The parodic intention of the society appeared in the writings of Ferrari, as he attributed everything from gender to racial inequality on the globularist and the spherical Earth model. Ferrari even claimed to have nearly fallen off the edge of the Earth at Brimstone Head on Fogo Island. Ferrari was interviewed as an expert in the 1990 Flat Earth mockumentary, In Search of the Edge by Pancake Productions, as in the expression as flat as a pancake. In the accompanying study guide, Ferrari is outed as a globularist, a nonce word for someone who believes the Earth is spherical. The real intent of the film, which was part funded by the Ontario Arts Council and National Film Board of Canada, was to promote school children's critical thinking and media literacy by to prove in convincing fashion, something everyone knew to be false. Relaunch. Multimedia artist Kay Burns recreated the Flat Earth Society of Canada with her alter ego Iris Taylor as its president. Burns created an installation entitled The Museum of the Flat Earth, which included some artifacts from the 1970 group. It was exhibited in 2016 at the Flat Earth Outpost Cafe in Shoal Bay, Newfoundland. In popular culture, Richard A. Lupoff's novel Circumpolar, 1984, describes a flat Earth, with a hole at the center instead of a North Pole, and the underside contains fictional lands such as Atlantis and Lemuria. In 1984, English musician Thomas Dolby released an album called The Flat Earth. This became the name for his fan club and subsequent website forums. Daniel Shenton credited this album as his introduction to the theory, and offered the first membership of the reopened society. Dolby, while not a believer, accepted. In 2013, while discussing the importance of acting on climate change, President Barack Obama said there was no time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society in reference to climate change deniers. Rapper B.O.B. composed a song about being dead. Flatline, in which he claims the Earth is flat, and promotes other conspiracy theories. He was offered, and accepted, membership in the Flat Earth Society. All-star NBA point guard Kyrie Irving expressed his belief that the Earth is flat on a podcast in February 2017. In 2017, former basketball player Shaquille O'Neal claimed on his podcast that the Earth was flat. A few days later, he stated that this was a joke. This world we live in, people take things too seriously. Steve Jackson Games featured the Flat Earth Society in their Illuminati card game. Resurgence in the era of celebrity and social media. In the modern era, the availability of communications technology and social media like YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter have made it easy for individuals, famous and not, to spread disinformation and attract others to their erroneous ideas. One of the topics that has flourished in this environment is that of the flat Earth. As of November 2017, the Facebook group Flat Earth, No Trolls boasts in excess of 37,000 members. It is unclear how many are sincere believers in the flat Earth hypothesis and how many are curious observers. The August 21, 2017 solar eclipse gave rise to numerous YouTube videos purporting to show how the details of the eclipse prove the Earth is flat. Also in 2017, the Tunisian and Arab scientific and educational world had a scandal when a PhD student submitted a thesis declaring Earth to be flat, unmoving, young, only 13,500 years of age, and the center of the universe.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.